Hi, my name's Emma, and let's talk spooky stuff. I am so ready to talk about this film. With 2 years of hype, Saint Maud is finally available this week in most countries via video streaming. The British psychological horror premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September of 2019. But it wasn't until October of 2020 when the film had a wider, yet still limited release across the UK. Now, with the film finally hitting VOD across North America this week, the question is, will it live up to the hype of being one of the most terrifying modern horrors? I recently saw the film and I am bursting. There is so much I want to talk about, but I do want to keep this video completely spoiler free. I would never want to ruin something like this for anyone else, as I didn't want it ruined for me. So I'm not really touching on a lot of the plot, just the main outline, and then also the characters, cinematography, all that kind of stuff. I will be saving everything else for a spoiler/explanation video. I'm going to dive into my theory and everything that you may have missed in the film. So check out that video once you've watched Saint Maud. It will be up in a couple of days, and I tell you, I think I found some things you may have missed. But let's talk about Saint Maud spoiler free. Saint Maud is the unsettling story of a religious home care nurse who goes by Maud, played by Morford Clark. Maud enters the home of Amanda, an American dancer and choreographer who is terminally ill. Working for Amanda, Maud's mission becomes clear. She was sent to Amanda by God to save her soul. The film is an eerie personal account of searching for direction and answers. Maud is looking for purpose because she knows that pain should not be wasted. It's rare that we get this kind of protagonist in a film that's not cult related, and that's what's so unsettling about this movie. Maud is presented as a meek, broken woman. She's not the overwhelming presence, she's the dark thought hiding in an unsuspecting place. And those around her test this. The closest thing I can relate this to is the film Frailty, which is a personal look at this experience, this one-on-one solo experience with religion. But Saint Maud is a much more personal look into her thoughts and her pain, although it is just as terrifying. Written and directed by Rose Glass, the film didn't actually start off as a horror movie, and she explains this in an interview with Curzon blog, which I'll link down below. She said it started off about a woman's relationship with the voice inside her head. It was a character study that naturally morphed into horror. The idea of the film was to present the extremes of human behavior. Glass pushes to find those moments where things could have gone wrong, but linking it to reality and showing the true danger people pose to themselves and others by not getting support for their trauma. And I felt that in this film. Although Maud is in a dark place, she acts in spite. And I often was thinking to myself, what happened to you, girl? What did you go through? How are you like this? Why are you torturing yourself? And in the sudden moments when it was revealed, I was completely terrified. It's an amazing balancing act of empathy, sympathy, and terror. You really feel for Maud. Maybe you could even relate her to May, the character that Angela Bettis played in 2002. But the reason I found the film so effective is because of its simplicity. It's a straightforward story that remains focused on Maud and only Maud. How she interacts with the rest of the world without straying to different subplots or different perspectives. Everything is happening inside Maud's personal world. And here is where the magic lies, in the details. Because if you look closely, you can see the amount of care that the filmmakers have put into her emotional journey. Saint Maud is such a strong and eerie journey because less is more. Glass chose the setting of Maud to only be a few locations. This was both to create a claustrophobic feeling, but also to save money, as this is her first feature film. But something that did not take a hit was the set design. An extra layer of interest is shown in the extremely luxe interiors with textured wallpaper and depth. And this contrasts with the rawness of the streets under the grim, overcast skies. The shadows of the film work to highlight the religious features, and it stuck with the trend that we're seeing in a lot of modern horrors, which is black and green contrasted with warm accents. It's almost like a spin on the giallo stylization color palette. Instead of muted colors, we have velvets and deep jewel tones, and they're mixed with a warm red instead of that cherry color that was popular in the 70s. But the unsung hero of Saint Maud had to be the sound design. The film mixes amazing tracks of stirring violins with natural sounds, the waves crashing, overpowering your senses. It's like true anxiety. You're not able to drown it out or think about anything else in that moment but the intenseness of the sound. The mix was gritty and layered, every creak of the house on a lonely day, the fizzing of a drink echoing, and the eerie sound of wind that drowns out any human life. The film has an intense theme of loneliness, and the soundtrack does its job of creating isolation amongst a crowd. But does it live up to the hype? Saint Maud is made for people who are fascinated by religion and horror, who are hypnotized by cause and effect and bend and break. If you're looking for an eerie psychological film, Saint Maud is for you. For me, it's hard to measure up 2 years of anticipation, but so far I've seen the film twice in 3 days, and I have to say I enjoyed every moment. As I said earlier in this video, there are so many different interpretations of the film, and watching it a couple of times, I've definitely picked out my own ideas into what I think is happening, and I can't wait to show you that video. I'm gonna give Saint Maud an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I did see some negative comments on my last video talking about how some people didn't enjoy it, and that's totally fine, but let people enjoy things that they like, and if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's totally fine. I just think that this is a hit first feature coming from Rose Glass, and I can't wait to see what's next for her. Obviously, I'm a big fan of religious themes in horror movies, so this met my expectations. I also like a little bit of creepy stalker awkwardness, so I just felt it was so eerie, and yeah, it just made my skin crawl, to be honest, and that's what I want in horror. I'm gonna give the film 7 for scare, just because the climax is a lot, and originality, I'm also gonna give it 7 because I think it's put together in such a unique way. I can't think of another story like this. I've talked to you about some of the themes and some of the films that I feel like may be connected or you can refer to, but nothing of this structure. But again, we'll get into it in another video. Thank you so much for being here. If this is the first video you're seeing from me, hi, my name's Emma. I'm also known as Spookyastronauts here on YouTube. I do 2 videos every single week talking about horror movies, talking about thrillers, and giving you a lot to put on your watch list. I like to do mainly spoiler-free videos so you know what will suit your personal taste and I'm not ruining anything in the process. It's all about finding tailored content for you. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye.